Alasdair MacIntyre applied this in Tradition of Ethical Rationality. He says that any tradition, for that matter, evolves and develops starting with the Constitution. In the Constitution of a particular moral sense of a given community, the morality of communities or societies or tribes, for that matter, start with customary practices. Okay, there are certain things that we do. This seems to function. This one does not function. Okay, and what seem to be functioning very well and what will make the community survive is what eventually is accepted as customary. That everybody submits to it and unquestionably. Okay, and later on, of course, that constitute certain beliefs, certain practices, certain particular narrative within our tradition. Okay, okay, certain myths, usually customary and questioning submission to practice somehow is backed up by particular beliefs, narratives, and myths in the community. For example, your parents would want you to avoid going to a special room in the upper deck of the house. So, because in the experience, when children climb up, it can hurt them. So, what the parents would do, that's not allowed. This is only what you should be able to do, and this is the acceptable thing in the house. And then, what would the parents do? Sometimes they come up with myths, okay, to put social pressure on the children. And then they say, there's a ghost there, don't go there. And then that begins to constitute our way of thinking. Okay, and that makes us follow what is expected behavior from us. Okay, and then you put that in a bigger scene. Okay, in society, for example, polygamy is not allowable. Only monogamy is allowable because, and this is sustained by a lot of myths, by a lot of beliefs and narratives. Later on, people normally within the customary level, they're just following it. Okay, they submit to it. But then there are moments when particular societies actually would raise, why do we do that and why or etc. And some of them are beginning not to follow it. So what normally traditions would do within the constitutional period is they impose laws or conventional standards. And then any tradition of rationality begin to come up with codes of conduct. Okay? Legal prescriptions. You talk about, books that people agree on what people should be able to follow. Okay? So you have legislation. For example, the Hammurabi Code, for example, was the earliest kind of code that we see in history. And then later on, part of the Constitution is after the practices and with corresponding rules that people should follow. There are experts within such tradition who eventually would be able to support that tradition and come up with what they refer to as a systematic, schematic justification. You do philosophical reflections to be able to reinforce, okay, adherence to that community, to that tradition. And such you can refer to as far as ethical standard of ethical rationality is concerned. You talk about this period of systematization and justification as ethical rationality. Okay? So here, customary, that is the morality. The ethical rationality becomes the theoretical side that tries to reinforce, adherence to such practice within a community. Is that clear? Can you follow, Al?
Yes, sir. Yeah, yeah.
So here, any particular tradition would always have an element of practice on the one hand, okay, but there is also an element of theorization. That forms part of the whole constitution of a given particular tradition of ethical rationality. And then later on, what comes is epistemological crisis. Just like what Thomas Kuhn was saying, There will be moments when people begin to raise critical questions and undergo crisis. For example, in your own vocation, you begin to raise critical questions. Should we really be doing this all the time? Should we actually have morning prayer all the time? Should we have all of that? Which then begin to raise critical questions. It doesn't seem to fit my own personal experience and reality anymore. And then you begin to experience some kind of anomaly or inadequacy of the system because it is not able to respond to new realities, new experiences. There are new challenges and there are new questions that your tradition of ethical rationality is not capable of responding to. That crisis comes dialectically from within and also from without. From without, for example, those who have actually lived in other countries or those who are exposed with other seminaries, for example, then, ganyan ba ginagawa nyo? That's what you do in your seminar. We do it differently. Why is it, why we are doing it the way we're doing it? And then you begin to raise questions. And then you say, that seems to be more attractive. That seems to be what we should be doing, etc. Or in other countries, for example, you realize, oh, but they have a very, very comfortable life and they're living in peace. How come in our country there are a lot of problems? Maybe there are certain problematic in the way we structure our life economically, politically, culturally, or otherwise. And so such problems would be able to give way to epistemological crisis that would demand for a reconstitution of your tradition that would give way to new practices. Then you rebel within a particular system, and then you try to do an experiment on some particular behavior, particular ways of doing things. And then after some time, you realize that what you have initiated begin to be the new normal. And then you begin to back it up with new ethical rationality. And then you come up with new norms as a result of reformulating and reconstituting your tradition. Just briefly, okay, it's already 9:34. What time am I supposed to end this?
I forgot the time.
9:37, Father.
8:37, okay. I'm just going to summarize what actually, you're receiving it anyway. There are texts here that I lifted up from the article of James Keenan. James Keenan is just trying to argue this. This is the main point that he's trying to argue. That when he speaks of fundamental moral theology, that's a tradition, okay, he says that this tradition forms part of a process, okay? This is a product of a process of moral discernment that a community has undergone, okay? And that, in a way, firms up and becomes a system of rationality, a system of principles and values that everybody, in a way, adheres to in that sense, okay? That's why he says, sources of moral teaching are components of communal process of ecclesial moral discernment. You remember what we were talking about earlier? It's a product of a socialization process. Catholic tradition has consistently recognized that the truth about specific moral questions differ considerably from the truth about ultimate meaning of existence. Its own particular definition and truth claims is only, in a way, specifically upheld within a particular reality in relation to the ultimate meaning. Tradition has insisted on the importance of mediation. So tradition is always mediated by particular experiences and by particular individual realities, okay? And therefore, he talks about the importance of dialogue. Okay, Christian tradition leads us to appreciate the irreducible uniqueness of the individual. That is beginning to be the shift, especially within our contemporary appreciation of our tradition. There is a greater valorization of the individual. Okay. Now, what he's trying to say is this. Okay. He demonstrates that the tradition of ethical rationality, okay, undergoes changes and development on the basis of us making reflections on the authorities of that tradition. Okay, when you want to form part of that tradition, you have to be able to reflect and start your reflection with what is considered as authorities of that tradition. For example, he gave example, a theologian writing on another theologian's particular work who is considered an authority of the subject matter. Okay? They are authoritative voices within tradition, and it's important to engage them if you want to constitute and be reconstituted and form part of the reconstitution of that tradition. Okay? Example of that will be Julia Fleming, cites, for example, on the probabilist claim of Juan Caramuel. Eric Canilo, for example, is a Jesuit scholar, actually worked on the work of John Ford. Okay, Martin Stone actually worked on the work of Adrian of Utrecht. And then he came up with so many different examples coming from different traditions. Okay, from East, from Asia, from Africa, from Latin America, from Europe, you know, trying to develop moral theology by commenting and working on the previous scholars and authorities of that tradition. And when you do that, okay, you actually are able to contribute in the development of that particular tradition. And then he cites that each of those would make use of different methods in trying to study, examine the merits of a previous authorities of tradition. Do you understand? See, we have worked with the author, with James Keenan. He's the one organizing this international gathering of moral theologians every 5 years, and I participated already in 3 conferences that he organized, where there will be about over 700 moral theologians or ethicists who will participate. And therefore, he cites examples coming from those participants in those conferences that he was able to organize. So he says that we are building our tradition, but we build it on the basis of our ongoing reflections on the previous authorities of such tradition. Okay? So pagka gagawa ka ng research, you have to take a framework using a particular theologian, moral theologian, and be able to raise critical questions about his own assumptions and then give way to new directions in thinking about the good and what is right in our society. And there you are beginning to form part of that reconstitution of that tradition. In a way, later on, you could be an authority of that tradition. If you happen to become a very good, you know, and a very prolific writer, okay, who has worked on so many different authorities in tradition. Okay, so that's it. So the different methods could be virtue ethics, responsibility, okay, like Levinasian framework of ethical responsibility. It could be narrative ethics. It could be a reflection on the historical Jesus and ethics based on their own study of certain scholars who've done work or areas related to globalization. Those are the themes that he actually pointed in his article to be able to expound this fundamental thesis that our ethical tradition, the tradition of ethical rationality, is a living one. And then we go on developing this on the basis of our own study, examination, reflection of the previous authorities of such tradition, giving way to new ways of understanding and reformulation of that tradition. Is that clear? Now I open the floor for discussion and we will stay up to...
Father, excuse me.
Yes.
But can we have a break and then afterwards question so that we can formulate questions?
It's okay.
All right?
Yeah,
it's fine with I don't know if for everybody.
It's fine with me, but of course we're limited to 1 hour and a half. Of course, we can always adjust. It depends on the students.
Yeah, for me, is this this topic is quite heavy for me, so I don't know.
Okay.
For the others. So break.
Would you like to take a break of 5 minutes? 5 minutes, just stretch out, okay, and just take something.
Father, yeah.
Okay.
Thank you, Father.
Okay. Tadeus. Tadeus. Can you follow? Very good. Okay. Is it because of the connection? Anyway, you don't have to worry too much because I'm giving you texts. For example, I've given you a very long text discussing about Alasdair MacIntyre.
Yes, me, Father.
You can have everything. You can have everything there in greater detail, with the more substantial references. Okay, to be able to develop his arguments. Okay.
Yes, me, Father.
Yes.
But actually, after like Tario said, sometimes it's very difficult for us to understand because the way you're speaking is a little bit very fast, and also
sorry about that.
And also the PowerPoint is not the main point, but the detail is we cannot see it. So
you cannot see.
It is better if we can record it and then we can also listen again. Your lecture is
no. I think for this particular lecture, you will just be wasting your time again listening. I think it is better for you to read the text. I already sent you the text, and it's everything. Everything is there, in even more substantial discussion. Have you read the text that I sent you? Okay. I sent you a long text of 56 pages, I think, and it discusses about the position of ethical rationality. Okay, read particularly from the perspective of Alasdair MacIntyre. Do you have it? I have not given that to my previous students, my previous classes, but I'm giving it to you.
Father, can you say it again? Was that the one you mentioned a while ago? The reading materials?
The reading material, I sent you two materials to read. One is what I wrote myself, which is about...
Yeah. Got it.
Traditions of ethical rationality, you have it?
Yeah, I got,
and then the other one is actually written by James Keenan, Fundamental Moral Theology, Tradition, as tradition, understood as tradition. It's just to demonstrate that when you speak of tradition, the ramifications that come along with that, which we were trying to explain, is demonstrated on the way we do moral theology, okay, in very specific way, okay. When you say tradition of ethical rationality and you want to participate in that, you have to be able to deal with the authorities of such tradition.
Okay. Father, I have to mention to you the one I received, the Journal of Evolution Technology, the Moral Vision Transhumanism, and then
the Kingdom of one. That is the first one we were talking about, moral vision.
Okay. Okay. The morally complex world.
Yeah, that was for the first session where we were talking about challenges in the moral landscape. That will help you and your knowledge to what we were discussing.
And then the next one is Asian Christian Review from you,
Yeah, that is an example of ethical moral perspective. We were discussing about ethical perspectives, isn't it?
Yeah.
And moral justifications. That is just an example of that.
And then the method on Catholic theological ethics in the 21st century by Todd Salzman.
Todd Salzman.
Okay.
Actually demonstrates a particular way of doing methodology
Okay.
In moral
And
theology, because we were talking about methods. Like we were
okay,
talking about
Father.
certain aspects in the general introduction. We were talking about
Okay.
landscape. We were talking about sources. We were talking about the methods. We were talking about distinctions. That these readings would help you advance your own
Oh
appreciation
yeah,
of the
yeah. Okay.
subject matter. These are supposed to be
Okay.
complementary to your knowledge. Okay.
And then the other one, Father, is the kingdom of God as principle of action in the
Yes,
church.
because
Yeah.
in the moral vision, we were talking about the moral Christian vision is about the reign of God, and so the article
Okay.
written okay, about that would help you deepen that appreciation of the reign of God.
Yeah.
Okay.
So aside from this, Father, you sent a new one or
Yes, last
okay.
the other day, I sent you uh, the article on uh, traditions of ethical rationality. That's the one, and also fundamental
Ah,
moral theology, a tradition written
okay.
by Jim Keenan.
Yeah, it's still in the Kulat. I have to check. I
Yeah,
have to
yeah.
check.
Those are the
Yeah.
two articles, and then of course I was
Okay.
sending you every meeting the PowerPoint.
The PowerPoint, Father.
Yes, the
Okay.
PDF files.
Yeah. Yeah, just some clarification because I had mentioned a while ago my how they call that the Blackboard came late. So
Oh yes, it's okay.
yeah, okay, yeah. Yeah.
You have them all kept in the Blackboard. And
Yeah.
for my interest, I am going to check whether you have had opportunity to respond to all the questions that I've asked you to respond to. So
I think the
you have to be able to answer immediately because it will build up.
okay. Aside from that, Father, is it possible to send on also to your email address?
At your email address.
Your
But
email address,
no, it's preferable with the because
the Blackboard
it's
of that.
difficult for me to open and then transfer because we have to
Okay.
make use of Blackboard because that will be the basis for your grading as well.
Okay, okay.
And it would be too much for me to be opening my email for every student. That's a
Yeah.
difficult.
Okay. Thank you,
It's
Father, for
much
that.
easier, Father, in Blackboard.
Yeah, it's easier in the Blackboard. That's right. And I think everyone has a Blackboard. Any question?